Davison
on BBC Radio Lancashire.
More from excited members of the COD Army to come before we're done and sport take over at 6 o'clock. But first, let's meet another interesting local character, really making a mark. An author from Pendle has entered 2 bestseller charts with her debut book, peaking at number 8 over in America and number 17 here in the UK. She's based in Nelson, but Burnley, yes, Burnley is her muse, as I discovered when I met her in the town earlier today.
Joanne St.Clair, and I'm an author.
How good does that feel, saying that you're an author?
It feels absolutely great. It's probably taken me 10 years to be able to say that, so yeah, I'm really pleased with that.
And we're in a rather apt location here, in the dead centre of Burnley. Why is that?
Well, this is actually the setting for my first book, Statue in the Square, and if you look at that statue over there in the calf, that was the object that actually inspired me to write it.
Thousands upon thousands of people, families will have seen that, will have walked past it, probably don't even give it a second glance.
No.
What is it about that bit of metal in the centre of this pedestrianised square near the market hall that inspired you to write a book?
Well, when I actually looked at the statue, there's no label on her, there's no name, there's no tag, there's nothing that actually says why she's been put in the middle of Burnley, of the Burnley Market Square, and that actually really intrigued me. I wondered what the history was, but my book isn't about the history of it. It's actually about somebody who felt he had more in common with the girl who just sat there, nobody noticing her while everyone's walking by. And yet, you know, children come, they sit next to her, they sit on the calf. Because I also thought as well, why is there a calf next to a mill girl?
Yeah, about 4 or 5 feet away.
Yeah, I thought mill girls, surely a mill girl is a factory worker. But to me, that looks nothing like a factory, like a factory worker. Anyway, I just used to come and sit here, watch it. I used to write some observations, and that's become my first book.
And congratulations, this book has gone massive. It's available it's doing very well over in the States, available in Australia now, I'm told, as well.
All over, available in Japan, Australia, Canada. It's available all over, so I'm so pleased about that.
And so something here in the heart of Burnley is global now.
Yeah, it is global. And what I'm actually hoping is like J.K. Rowling in the famous cafe, that people travel and come and, have photos in front of the statue, to the extent that there'll be a plaque there that actually calls it Statue in the Square by Joanne St.Clair.
You always wanted to be an author, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
But work kind of got in the way.
Yes, it did. I think from about the age of 16, when I chose my A-levels, I wanted to write. I loved English literature, but like many other good parents, I was encouraged to do the sciences, so I did a degree in engineering. And, it's absolutely great for credibility in what it's given me, but I just found there was something really losing inside. So about 12 years ago, I decided...
You have the heart of a poet, that's what it is. You needed the literature fix.
I think that's what it is. I think I see myself sat in Parisian cafes with a beret on, speaking like intellectual...
Do that here in Burnley?
Actually, that is true. Because that's another thing. My book takes place around the statue and in a cafe, so it all comes together.
Is it a Burnley book?
No, it's not a Burnley book. It's what I call it's like when I say a UK book, it's personal development, spiritual empowerment. The Americans do it really well. And I think over here in England, we have a cynicism, which I feel is necessary in books like that for a lot of people to get. So I call mine a typical UK-based, spiritual, personal empowerment book. It's got some good old British northern cynicism in it, but it's also got some great life lessons to, hopefully give people a way to lead better lives.
So by the sounds of it, we're not just talking here a story, we're not just talking fiction, We're talking themes which then will linger with you, which could change you as well. That's what you hope people take from it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's I think the use of fiction to deliver a message or deliver lessons is a great way to connect with people. You only have to look at like Aesop's fables, you only have to look at the Bible, you only have to look at some of these great folklores that have been passed through the generations, and it's all told through fiction. And I think my background in lecturing and teaching has shown me that if you can connect things in people's minds in a way where they can imagine something, then the lesson's delivered in a much greater way and people remember it. So that's what I do. I've used fiction, I've used things that people know, and then I've delivered like insightful lessons which people can take away and apply if they want, or they can just read a good book. They can just read the journey of an individual unfolding.
She's really making a mark, causing a stir nationally. Local author Joanne St.Clair there, and she tells her own personal story of how she became an author. Complete change. Crossroads in her life. We'll hear that before we're done. Before we go, let's hear more from that author from Pendle, who's entered 2 bestseller charts with her debut book. Joanne St.Clair is her name, and this is her story.
Well, to be fair, that's actually a story in itself, because when I came back to the north, I lived away from the north for 10 years. I was down in Bristol, I was down in Brighton. That's where my degree and my job took me. And I decided to come back up north, and I got a job at a local college here. And after a couple of years, I just felt that I was really selling myself short. I thought, I'm being a teacher, yet I don't feel I'm fulfilling my potential. And I got to the stage where I almost felt that I couldn't lie to myself, or I couldn't stand it anymore. And I thought, I'm just going to go on a visit, maybe take a backpacking trip to Spain. I went to the travel agent to get some brochure. I walked away totally surprised with a ticket leaving for Los Angeles the next day, and leaving at the crack of dawn. And I thought, well, have I really got the guts to live this empowerment lifestyle? Have I really got the guts to be spontaneous and to let my life unfold like what I'm teaching people to do? So the next morning, a taxi picked me up. I had no accommodation, I had nothing. I just got on that plane. I went to LA. I was over there about a week and a half. Met my husband. We got married 9 days later. And
it's a whirlwind, this, isn't it? What a fortnight that was.
We've just celebrated our 9-year anniversary. We've got 2 children. And when I married my husband, I got taken into the music industry. And I became his manager. We set up a DIY record label, and I learned so many aspects about a DIY operation that now I've been able to take that and apply it to the process of me taking my book to the marketplace. So it's like the universe, so to speak, gave me a load of skills in a way I could never have envisioned, and now I can apply that to what I'm doing.
And technology played a part as well. It made it more accessible, made it easier to publish to begin with.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to me, last year saw a huge increase in self-published authors, to the extent that 2 of your top 10 best-selling authors on Amazon have got there by being self-published and just having a book in digital format. And I think all the systems that are in place now for self-published authors are great. Even J.K. Rowling has gone self-published with her next book, because if you're willing to take the time, you can get yourself to... And a risk, I think if there's a passion within, it's not a risk. How can your passion be a risk? Because it's so fulfilling. So to me, the risk is not doing it, because you're saying you'd rather put up with the mediocrity of life than the greatness that could be potentially yours. So to me, it was just a great adventure, and I feel I'm on a great adventure now.
OK, let me put a different spin on it then, because I can imagine the sense of satisfaction when there it is. You've finished, you've press the last letter, the last final full stop, or indeed then when it is published and it's tangible, it's holding it in your hands. How do you know a book is ever finished? It must be very difficult to switch off and stop tinkering and say, no, that is it now, it is done, that is the product.
Do you know, with my first book, Statue in the Square, I actually used an editor. A friend of mine works in a education publishers, and she was an editor, and she really helped me tie it all together, because I didn't really know if it was finished or not, and she really helped me with that. My second book, which is due out in about 2 months, I thought was finished about 3 months ago, and then a reader of my book, of Statue in the Square, I met her for coffee. She drove over from Blackpool. I met for coffee, and when she told me how excited she was about my second book, when she told me everything she'd got from the book, I thought, oh, hang on a minute, there are actually real fans here who are waiting for a second piece of work.
Amazing feeling.
Well, it was amazing, but I just thought, oh no, I've got to give the very best I can give. So I've ended up, over these last couple of months, going back to this second book and thinking, hang on, I've not given the best. And I've literally gone back into my mind, almost barricaded myself in, and now I've come out and I know I've brought the best out now.
What's it called?
Think it's called The Naked Raver.
And it's out, The Naked Raver?
The Naked Raver,
I'd like to see the cover for that one.
It's actually really cool.
And that's out in a couple of months' time?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be getting the proof in about 2 weeks, and then I'm just going to send it to my mum, who's going to she's a great reader and writer, so I'm going to send it to her. She's going to have a look through it. Then if all okay, that'll be released. But I've been doing a lot of online campaigns and stuff for that.
Well, best of luck with that.